Let's talk about our day at Epic Universe. Okay, so we went on May 8th, and that was a Thursday. Now May 7th was a terrible day at Epic. Many things were closed. Many things never opened, and there were a lot of unhappy people that came out of the park that day. The concierge lines, or guest services, if you will, lines were out the wazoo at the end of the day, of people basically complaining about the fact that they paid this much money, however much money it was, at least $122 or more, for these tickets, and were only able to ride like two things.
Yeah. Because I think that day, what was it? 5 rides were down all day.
It was bad. It was bad.
Yeah.
And the lines were like so long. But so people like got their money back, or they got tickets for a different day, or if they had tickets, they got express pass or whatever it was. Like there was a lot of different solutions they offered. But that was the day before we went. And so I was like, wow, things are just not going really well. We're just kind of apprehensive. Like, okay, we're just going to try to make the best of it we can. Hopefully everything is running okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Curse of the Werewolf, the roller coaster in Dark Universe, and Stardust Racers never opened. They were closed all day.
Yeah.
We did not have early entry that day. We just drove from home into Epic Universe and just got in with regular guests. So we missed the early entry perk of being able to ride the Super Nintendo World rides or Stardust Racers, which wasn't even open. So it was just the Super Nintendo World. And so by the time we got in, we were going to start at Isle of Berk, which is How to Train Your Dragon.
Yeah, because we had our kids with us.
Yes.
And so also the thinking is, and I think this holds true for when the park opens officially, is Super Nintendo World is going to be the busiest land overall, but especially first thing in the morning because early entry guests are going to be in there already.
Right.
So going in there right off the bat, we were like, okay, we're going to see really high wait times there. We still obviously did and planned to do Super Nintendo World that day. So we're like, let's go do Isle of Berk first and try and knock that out. And obviously that's the other very kid-friendly land in the park. So that was kind of the game plan there.
And so we got in, and we weren't like at the front of the line, like in front of like where the portal is. We were kind of far back. I mean, it's just what it is. So we got into the land, and the first thing we decided to do, we were like, okay, let's get in line to meet Toothless and Hiccup, because I knew from days before that line was at least an hour and a half, literally all day. So I was like, okay, well, let's just go ahead and get in line so we don't have to wait that long the rest of the day. Well, we're in line, and I tell Jared, our daughter wanted to ride Hiccup's Wing Gliders, which is we call it Baby Hagrid's. It's like the Hagrid's type roller coaster that's in Isle of Berk. Mm-hmm. And she wanted to ride it. So he took her over there. Mm-hmm. And how did that experience go for you?
Well, it was interesting. So we would have been better off as soon as we got in the land to get the line right away.
Right.
So by this point, we were probably in the land for like 5-7 minutes.
But that 5-7 minutes.
Yeah. And then we were like, okay, let's go. So by the time we got in line, granted, they hadn't let anybody in the queue quite yet. But the line was stretching almost to the entrance of the land itself.
Jeez.
So we weren't that far back. We were pretty far back. So they eventually get into the queue, and they only had one side running. So they have two sides on this coaster. Only one side was running, and it broke down at least twice. So they announced over the overhead once it was running. But we waited every bit of 90 minutes for this.
You guys waited an hour and 40.
Yeah.
Because we waited, my mom and our son and I, we waited 90 minutes. We waited an hour and a half.
Yeah. And we were hoping to time it out where we could ride this and then get back into line with you guys to do the Hiccup meet and greet, or Hiccup and Toothless meet and greet. But yeah, we waited, basically an hour and 45 minutes. We did eventually get to ride it. Our daughter, she loved it, but then completely agreed. She was like, it's not worth that much of a wait. And I was like, I agree. It's a great coaster, but there's very few rides that I think are worth waiting 90 minutes for. One, Hagrid's, okay.
And she agreed. She said Hagrid's too was worth it. Yeah.
So Hagrid's would be one. Maybe Battle of the Ministry. Don't know, but maybe that one would be worth it. there's very few rides in general. I'll say, yeah, I'll wait 90 minutes for that.
Yeah.
But that is what it was right off the bat in there for that one, which was much higher. The last time we were there, again, during team member previews, I think the highest wait time we had all day was 45 minutes, and that was for hiccups.
Yeah. That was a lot in the beginning of the day, which is crazy.
Yeah. Then as soon as we pulled into the station, like coming, the coaster ended, we pulled into the other side, and then they were running both sides. So
you're like, great.
I was like, oh, that's great. So I don't know if maybe it just wasn't ready yet or whatever the deal was, but yeah.
But our Hiccup and Toothless meet and greet went super well. Our son was an angel the whole time in line because he was constantly watching the Toothless is an animatronic, Toothless animatronic, and he was very interested. So by the time we got up there, we were interacting with Hiccup and Toothless and the other character, which I don't remember her name, but they were so good with him, and they were talking to him, they were including him, and we were there for at least 5 minutes.
That's one thing I do like. They do take time with each, especially the kids.
Yeah.
To let them, interact a bit more.
And our son doesn't speak a lot. Sometimes with strangers, he's kind of shy, and they clock it immediately. And they're very sensitive to especially children. They're very good with kids and everything. And it was so good. It was so good. And so it was really good. I wish our daughter could have done it, but it just didn't work out for that day.
Watching the video of it, they did a very good job.
So sweet.
And I think this is one thing, and I've said, I think this meet and greet is one of the best ones I've seen out of all theme parks, given it's an animatronic dragon.
Yeah.
Then you've got the character actors that are there with them, and they do a very good job of that. I think it was Eddie Soto, who's a former Disney Imagineer, and said Universal's getting that whole emotional touch to some of these things. And I think it does a really good job there.
And they also have wandering characters, Rough and Tough, walking around, and they're hilarious. So if you see them out and about, you don't miss a chance to talk to them.
Yeah, you also got
funny.
You had the baby dragons that come around sometimes in this land.
We missed them. We didn't see them.
Yeah, we didn't see them.
But after that, we were like, okay, we need air conditioning because both sets of us were in the heat for an hour and a half, and we're like, we need air conditioning. So we went and watched the Untrainable Dragon show.
We did. We didn't get to do this last time. This is a fantastic show.
It's so cute.
I'm not a big show person. I've talked about it before, but this legitimately is a fantastic live show you can check out. Hiccup or Toothless was working that day, so you have Toothless that flies through the clouds.
He flies.
And our son, he very much is now a big How to Train Your Dragon fan. He wasn't before, but he is now.
Oh, yeah. I think you asked him. You're like, hey, buddy, did you like it? He goes, I liked it.
Yeah.
I liked it. So we came home and we watched Untrainable Dragon show on YouTube over and over and over and over. And he loved it. So
yeah. No, it's
our daughter did too.
Very, very well done show. And the usage of how Universal does with these high def screens and how they implement it for the Bourne Stuntacular, obviously the Monsters Unchained, and this show is they use it very well because it's a combination of having those screens with prop pieces and either animatronics or character actors, and it just helps. It's not the whole show, but it adds a very nice layer and touch to the show.
Yeah,
and I think that's a good way to use these. So
that was a really good experience, and then we went to, we were going to leave. We were going to go get something to eat at the Meteor Gastropub, which we did eventually. But before we did that, on the way out, we saw that Fire Drill, which is the water boat ride they have, was a 5-minute wait. And earlier it was an hour. So we're like, what? Well,
and it actually had shut down for part of that morning too.
Yeah. So it shut down, but we went ahead and were like, okay, let's just do it. So we get in line. It turns out it wasn't a 5-minute wait. It was more like 20. But it was okay. We met a mom and her kid in the line, and they were so cute. But anyway,
they were from Canada. They were very nice.
From Canada. But yeah, so we did that, and we did get wet. You will get wet on that ride. It is one of those rides where you will not get out of it alive, dry.
If you do, it's a fluke.
It's a fluke
because you'll get water hit by you from other boats, sometimes on purpose, sometimes on accident.
That's how I got wet both times.
Yeah, some of the stuff, depending on what
boats.
you aim at, it will cause more water splashes and things, or things will shoot at you. So yeah, you do get wet. But again, it was hot that day, so we dried off very quickly. They didn't have, so this will have a score, like it'll track a score.
Oh,
eventually.
okay.
It's not running as of right now.
Okay.
So but with that aspect of it, that makes it a little bit more fun to me. But overall, yeah, it's an okay ride.
Yeah.
It's not worth more than 20-minute wait.
Yeah, as much as we waited, that's as much as I would wait.
Yeah.
Yeah. So after that, we checked out the Viking training camp, just briefly. Some of the things were not working. Like they were.
Yeah. Again, in preview mode, some stuff wasn't
Yeah.
working. There were some cool little games that kids could play in there that was roped off or blocked off. You couldn't do it. It has multiple stories. It's huge.
It's big. Yeah.
It's got a lot of stuff in there for kids of older ages and smaller ages. They also have in the little kiddie area, they have family companion restrooms right there, which is really nice. So I can imagine, like when our kids were real little, that's a nice thing to have right there, and it's kind of in the shade. But yeah, a lot of it wasn't. You can go even higher in I guess you would just call it the tree house type of thing, but it was blocked off there as well.
Yeah.
But our kids enjoyed it. They got a slide in there, and I do like how this play area has one entrance and exit, so you don't have to worry about losing your kids. At least if
I love that.
I did, because we talked about before, like Fievel's play area back in the day in Kids Zone was a nightmare.
I hate that thing.
It scarred Jamie for life there. But yeah, so it's a good sized area. I would like to see this at full functionality, but it is a cool spot for kids. And our kids, I mean, our son would have played there longer. But it was hot, but it is kind of shaded a little bit. They have some shade structures in there.
Yeah. Make
it kind of nice. But yeah, I mean, it's a good place for kids to run around.
Yeah. We didn't get to Dragon Rally Racers. Is that how you say
Dragon Racers Rally.
Thank you. I messed it up. Dragon Racers Rally. It was like a 75-minute wait. And I was like, I am not waiting.
That ride is going to be, it's a low loading ride. Doesn't have that many people moving through it. No express pass on this one. And it's not worth more than like a 20-30-minute wait.
Right. Yeah. So,
I mean, all day long, it was 70, 90 minutes.
It did not go down. I know. It's crazy. But yeah, that's the only one we didn't get to do. But before we move on to what we did next, like, give me like, out of like all the themed lands that you've ever seen over one IP, like, how do you rank this one? Because I'll just kind of give you my opinion.
No.
I mean, like,
yes, you can.
Every inch of it is themed. Like, I walk in there and I'm like, oh, I'm in Burke. I'm in Isle of Burke.
It's a very well themed land. I mean, I think, and personally, the thing I love about it is it plays the How to Train Your Dragon music throughout it.
Yes.
Shocking. People like music from the movies that they're in the land of.
Yes.
I know this is crazy talking to you, Galaxy's Edge. I think this is definitely better than Galaxy's Edge. I think it's more well done than, say, Toy Story Land and an overall theming. I think, though, it's the closest thing I've seen to Pandora.
Okay.
And I'm not a big Avatar fan, but Pandora is, I do think that is legitimately the best land that Disney has done in the past, like, 10 years.
Yeah.
I think in terms of theming to that IP and that area, it's very well done. I think it's on par with that. And there's so many things, like you got meet and greets, you got characters walking around, you got baby dragons. We didn't get a chance to check out. You got the blacksmith, Hoggard, I think is his name. I'm going to mess that up.
I don't know. I don't remember.
Anyway, there's I'm going to get that name wrong. I can't remember off the top of my head, but there's a blacksmith there you can interact with. Like, there's tons of interactivity here. There's all sorts of little things you can do on the sides.
That's too. The things you can do on the sides. Like, they have something going on, like, every time you turn around. There's something new. Like, I feel like this land is just fully, like, maybe not completely, but like almost completely fully developed. Like, it's just like it's like it's always existed.
Well, that was they even said they wanted it to feel like you're walking into Isle of Burke on just a given day.
Yeah.
Like you're walking into a village that it's not there for you. You're just there on a day, like you're visiting.
Yeah.
And they added the fire in the statues when you first walk in. So that was going.
Yep.
So I think this one has a great, when you first walk in, it's like a wow factor. You see like the water and all these things, so much kinetic energy there. You got the mountaintops, you got Mead Hall, like you've got, this is the biggest land at this point, by the way. So you've got,
and you can tell, you can feel it.
Yeah, you've got 3 rides, you got Hiccups.
You got 4 rides.
Well, 4?
Well, 3 in the show, but so 4
Well, so I was going to say, yeah, you've got Hiccups Wing Gliders, you've got the Dragon Racers Rally, got fire drill, you got the show, you got the kids play area, you got the meet and greet. Like there's you can spend a lot of time in this land.
We spent like 4 hours.
We were there a long time. Now, granted, a lot of it was
Yeah.
waiting in line, but
yeah.
you know, it's a great place to check out. If you're a fan of How to Train Your Dragon, I would imagine. Like, I'm not super familiar. I know of them and I've seen the movies, but if you're like a massive fan of these, and especially with kids, like they'll love it. It's a fantastic land.
I can't wait to like slow down more next time we go and actually experience like the little things, because I feel like with this past time with our kids, because we were in line for so long, I felt more rushed when we weren't. You know what I mean?
And I think this is also interesting too, because like this is the first time we've experienced a brand new theme park opening. So usually when a new land opens, you know, you go into it and you're like, okay, we're going to spend a lot of time in here because like, you know, we'll just check all this stuff out. But when you have a park full of new lands and things to check out, you kind of feel this like, oh, we got to
do this
too.
I have to
So
do this.
I do look forward to it eventually getting to the point where you just say, okay, we're going to go today and we're just basically going to check out this land only.
Yeah.
And spend more time and do that. So I think if that's the way you take it, if you're a big fan of this, like there's so many things to check out. I mean, I still love Super Nintendo World, but Isle of Berk might be my second.
Okay.
It's very, very well done.
Yeah, I agree. So we moved out of Isle of Berk and we had a late lunch in Celestial Park at Meteor Astropub, and we did everything is a mobile order, so they just deliver it to your table, which is kind of nice. But we had it's like a sloppy Joe burger with like burnt ends in it, which it was okay. I don't know. Did you like it at all?
I'm not a big sloppy Joe person. It was okay.
It was the burnt ends that appealed me, and I was like, oh, I'll try that.
Yeah, I will say from what I've seen of the food, it's a little small on the portion size.
Not a lot of fries.
Not a lot of fries.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like the chicken. We got our daughter chicken fingers.
That's why we ate there, by the way.
And there was like 2 chicken fingers.
Yeah.
It wasn't like some of the portion sizes I've been like, oh, okay. And
yeah.
Universal's food it's not the cheapest. It's not the most expensive, but it's not the cheapest. Now, it does help have an AP. We get an AP discount, but I think of that restaurant alone, like I want to try some other things there, but it was okay. Nothing amazing there.
And like when we went in, I was like, oh, it's like 3:00. There's going to be plenty of places to sit. That place was packed.
Yeah.
At like 3:00. There was hardly anywhere to sit, which shocked me because it's a pretty big restaurant.
But it's also in AC.
It's also in air conditioning.
Yeah.
That's true.
And it was pretty hot that day.
That's true. But yeah, so we ate there. It was like I said, it was okay. You know, I would
the service was really good.
Service was great.
Like they bring it to your table. Then I wouldn't. There was no silverware and stuff. So I found a team member. And I was like, hey, can I get some silverware? And she was like, oh, I'll bring it to you. And she's like, you're the table right over there. And I'm like, oh yeah. So they brought it over. They brought us ketchup. Like the service was very good in general. But like the food came out pretty quick. It was warm. Just portion size not the best. Food was okay of what we had.
Yeah. So after that, we were like, you know what? Let's go to Super Nintendo World because,
Well, also our kids were demanding to do Super Nintendo World.
Well, this day was more for them. This is their first time there. And, they weren't going to come back for a while after this. So we're like, well, we'll just get as much as we can for the kids stuff, if you will. And so did Super Nintendo World, which we talked about last episode when we did it. I mean, this land is incredible. Jared was a giddy little kid when he walked in the first time.
I was a giddy kid the second time I walked
in. And the second time.
It's an awesome. If you're a fan of Nintendo, you grew up playing it.
It's so good.
It's a fantastic land.
And I did make a reel of you in the land. Just basically you're just mouth open like, whoa.
Well, it's like you walk in.
It's so cute.
You walk into the video game. You like played as a kid.
I know.
Yeah, it's very, very well done.
The theming is crazy.
And our kids, so you had. Now I will say, and we'll talk about one limitation of this land is the amount of stairs.
Lots of stairs.
And when you have a stroller,
yeah,
it makes navigating it because you have to take the elevator.
Yeah.
And it makes that a little bit more like up and down, like checking out different things. Like that is a little bit cumbersome.
I should have just parked it at the top and just left it.
Probably.
And he could have just walked around. I should have done that.
But like walking into, obviously you go up the escalator and you're going through the warp pipe. Our daughter was just like, Oh my goodness, they never our son. Like they were.
I missed that.
Because you were taking the stroller. They absolutely loved it. And then you go into Peach's Castle, and so our daughter, like, they kind of ran around there for like a couple of minutes. They were like, oh, like checking all this stuff out. But walking in, it is quite a wow factor of just seeing everything as soon as you just come out of the castle, and it's just like all right there. You got the Nintendo music playing. You got all the stuff moving around.
It's so good.
It's a great first impression.
Oh my gosh, yes. And like you enter from the second floor, which is even better. So you get a like good view of everything else and below you as well.
It's a unique. It's a very unique perspective. And it's a multi-storied land, which is not something you typically see. Again, which does leads lots of stairs or using the elevators.
Yeah.
So that is something to think if you're using like your mom had a ECV,
right?
So she had to use the elevators and navigate that. So it does become a little bit cumbersome in that way, getting up and down. So it's better to figure out what you want to do versus going up and down. But sometimes with kids, they decide they want to do things.
If you have a stroller or ECV, I would recommend going in the bottom floor exit.
It's an easier way to get in.
Instead of going through the portal, go to the right and just follow by there's a fountain right there. Follow by the fountain, keep going, and you can enter into the land going to the bottom floor, and you just get right into the part where they usually have the meet and greets for like Mario and Luigi over there. It just goes right into there. So
now if this land, when the park's open, they might have the exit where you can't go into them.
That's true.
If they're using virtual line, but just in a normal day, if they're not, you can come in and out of there.
So we spent a lot of time with the kids using their power-up bands. They wanted to do all of the activities aligned with that. And that's stuff like, what was that little mushroom guy that ran on the little, I don't know the terminology.
That's a Goomba.
Thank you. A Goomba.
That's a Goomba.
You had to like turn this wheel.
Yeah, so they've got a bunch of interactivity. I would honestly say, at least if you have kids and they want to do these things, at least get one power-up band. Because using it allows you to do some extra stuff in here. So in this land, you've got Mario Kart attraction, obviously. Yeah. You have Yoshi's Adventure, and then you have Donkey Kong Country, and then you have Minecart Madness in there.
Yeah.
The power-up bands allow you to do little extra, like you hit the power-up blocks, and they make the noises. You can play little extra games, and then if you've got it, the whole purpose is to you got to get 5 keys. So that this also tracks that you sync the power-up band to your app, and it keeps track of like stamps. Like it gives you kind of like, it's almost like a scavenger hunt.
Yeah, yeah.
You can roam the land, figure some stuff out. So you can do these things, and you do these challenges, and if you win them, you get a key. And if you get 5 keys, then you get to do the
Bowser Jr.
sort of challenge.
Oh my gosh, guys, this is so cute. This is so cute.
But they have some of the games are very simple. Yeah. They have a casino type one like you played in the Mario games. Same thing. They have a lot of stuff in the games in there. But one of them that was...
the little coins.
Yeah. So one of them that was interesting to get a key was you have a piranha plant, and you have to turn off these alarm clocks. Oh, yeah. And it's not the easiest thing to do. The first time my daughter and I did it, we actually didn't do it. So you don't get the key until you do that. So the second time we did it, we all did it.
Yeah.
And we won. And then if you have all the keys, you put your power-up band next to the icon, and then the team member will either say, come on in, or you didn't get enough keys yet. So we had enough keys. So you go in, and it's kind of an extra, like it's another ride. So essentially this does have 4 rides just based off the power-up bands.
Yeah.
But you go in there, and then eventually you get into this room that it probably could fit, how many? I would say like
12
people in there you could fit. And you have this little interactive game where you essentially do a lot of things like you did in the Mario game. You swat away bombs. You hit the block to get mushrooms and
jump
the flower. So it uses projection. It's like got your shadow and you're hitting stuff. It's a lot of interactivity there.
Fun.
But it was a cool game. And then eventually, if you beat him, then you win and all that stuff like that. So it was a lot of fun. You get coins for doing that. It tracks the amount of coins you get, whether you're on Mario Kart or these other things like that. So I think the power-up bands are worth it for that.
Oh, sure.
The more stuff you get in there. Because our kids loved it. They were doing it the entire time.
Yep. And all the points are stored in your phone, right? And
yes, you keep track of the coins and all that stuff.
That's great. That's awesome. Well, ride-wise, the Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge, we all did, with my mom included. and we waited like 70 minutes.
It was a long wait
for this ride, which was basically our son was the one that wanted to do it. He looked at it. He's like, "Mommy, what's this?" I go, "This is Mario Kart." He goes, "Let's do that." I was like, "You want to do it?" He's like, "Yes." I was like, "Okay." So he was fine in the line. It was great. They loved it.
He did better in line than his sister.
He sure did.
Who is older than him.
But as soon as he saw, do I want to do spoilers here on the ride?
I mean, this ride's been around. I don't think it's spoiling anything.
Well, there's a part in the ride where you see Rainbow Road, and he was so excited about Rainbow Road. And that's all he talked about afterwards. It was adorable.
That is the best part of the ride is Rainbow Road.
For sure.
I mean, basically, if you played Mario Kart, you'll love this ride.
Yeah.
It's not the best ride I've ever ridden, but it's a lot of fun.
And the way it's kind of cool, the way it works is that you're in a 4-person little Mario Kart, if you will, and everybody's got a visor, and I've got like a little, I don't know, like a hologram, like a shield that goes around your face.
It's augmented reality.
Augmented reality. So you can see the characters or things you want to hit with your shells, right? Because you use the little controller to hit the shells, hit the other people or whatever it is.
You want to hit the bad guys. You do not want to hit Mario. If you hit Mario, you lose coins.
Okay, exactly. And then and it gives you coins for that, and then it keeps track of your score as well. And I don't know. I think it's the best thing. Even if you didn't have that on, even if you just wanted to watch what all the set pieces look like in the ride, you'd still be super entertained.
Yeah.
It's so cool. So I really love that ride.
That ride, a lot of people kind of crap on that ride.
Why?
I don't know. I think it's fun.
It's so fun.
I enjoy it. Now, again, it's not the best thing I've ever ridden, but I think it's pretty great.
Yeah. Sure.
I enjoy it.
So Minecart Madness, we did not get to do. It was an hour and 40 minutes. I think we went in.
It was, we checked a couple times. It would jump up and down. It would get down to 60 minutes, and then all of a sudden it would jump up to 90.
Yeah.
It was also down part of the day, different points. It rained while we were in the park, so it did go down for weather delay. We tried to go back in because we thought, okay, if they, maybe we can wait if it's going to come back online, and there was already a line formed.
Yeah.
And some of the cast members, they're just simply saying, we don't know if and when it's going to come online, blah, blah. So this second team member came up and she was like, "Do you have any other plans for today?" And we were like, "Well, I think we're going to go check out Dark Universe." She's like, "Well, you might want to do that." And we were like, "Okay." And she was like, basically, the line, we thought maybe the queue had been emptied. Right. And they weren't letting people in yet. So that's
because it was still in weather delay.
Yeah. So the line was almost to the point of the entrance of Donkey Kong Country. And she's like, the queue is full. We don't know if the ride is going to come back open. And at this point, that in the back of that queue right there, it's like almost 2 hour plus wait. We're like, okay. And it turned out that ride never came back online the rest of the day.
Those poor people in line.
Yeah.
They wasted so much
time. And they're not
time.
going to tell you if it's going to come, whether or not they knew or not. But it never came back online. So thankful to her. She kind of, without telling us, don't wait in this line. We were just like, okay, we're going to do some other stuff.
We did ride Yoshi's Adventure twice, and
our son our daughter loved it too.
She loved it too.
They both really loved it.
It's just a slow moving kind of omni-mover type ride, where you
collect the eggs.
You find the eggs, and it's just it was very slow. it's for, I think it's all heights.
All heights can ride it. There's no height restriction.
And it was like a walk on, so it wasn't that bad.
It was like 15, 20 minutes. The second time we did it, because our daughter wanted to do it right after we did it the first time, and it was a little longer wait the second time, but it was still like maybe 20 minutes.
Okay. And so we didn't get to meet any characters because it was raining when we were there, like the whole time. I think Mario and Luigi were leaving when we got in there.
They were out, but they'd already closed off the line.
Right. And then it started raining, and then we're just like, well, we're not going to see more characters today. But I did get a mango smoothie from the Yoshi's Island place that just opened like days ago.
Mm-hmm.
And they have that. They have an apple melon smoothie as well, and some kind of mushroom. It's not mushroom, but it's like a calzone, like a pizza calzone thing. But I got a mango smoothie, and it was pretty good. I got a discount with my AP.
It was okay.
So I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
Jared doesn't like mango.
I'm not big on mango.
Okay. But anyway, so with that one though, it's like right outside of Donkey Kong entrance, and the sign it's kind of hidden. Like if you walk past it, you probably wouldn't even know it's there.
Yeah, it's right before you get into Donkey Kong Country.
Yeah.
On the left.
There's no menu posted. There's no menu online. You just have to ask, hey, what do you have here?
Right.
And I'll tell you.
Yeah.
There's only the 3 items. But anyway, so I got that. Then we went to the store for a little bit, and then it was time to move over to Dark Universe.
And at this point, it was getting dark. It was also like
6:30?
Storm clouds were kind of it was supposed to pour. It rained periodically, but never like really was a downpour necessarily.
I think it rained hard whenever we were in the ride.
Well, that's very possible. But we did get to experience Dark Universe at night, or at least a nighttime atmosphere, which is very cool.
Very cool.
It's a very cool lane to walk into.
Very spooky.
Yes, and the manor looks very spooky with the storm clouds behind it.
Yes,
I will say.
Yes,
had a very cool effect. Obviously, now the surprising part was Monsters Unchained was a 20-minute wait.
I know. What was that about?
And we'll talk about
because it fast loads.
It does. Well, it fast loads, and it is a people mover. It gets people through it very, very efficiently.
Yeah.
So going into this, we're like, they have child swap in here.
Yeah.
So our kid, at first our daughter said she was going to ride it. We're like, okay. Our son was not going to ride this and was very apprehensive about going to this building. We were like, listen, buddy, you're not going to ride it. And he was just like, okay. But he was a little like, definitely not into it. And it's a bit, this land in general is like kind of a PG-13-ish land. So went through the queue, because the way they do the child swap, you go all the way past the lockers, and then they have the child swap area.
Yeah, that's important.
That is important. So while we're in the queue, and it's a great queue, our daughter was like, I'm not going to ride this. We were like, okay. Because she wanted to ride it because it's the same ride system as Forbidden Journey, which she loves. But so they did. I
took the kids.
You took the kids, and I rode it with your mom. Mm-hmm. And I got to ride it twice.
Yeah, you did.
It's a great ride. I love it. It's a fantastic ride. Although I will say.
What did you see, Jared?
After the first time you see Dracula, there's a part where you go through and you can clearly see it's a curtain, and you can see like concrete on the ground. You can even see like folding chairs. It's the only part you can really see. I was like, they need to really fix that. Because the visual there, you can see it. And I will say in general, it's a great ride, but I feel like it needs to be a little darker in there, because you can see, when you're looking around, you can see the ride vehicles and things and other people and stuff. Like, if it was a little darker, I don't think you'd be able to see that as well.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think it'd be a little bit better immersion with that. Because when you think about it, when you're on like Spider-Man or those rides, you never see how you're moving around. On this one, you are able to see. It's still
you can look down and see.
Yeah, it's still a great ride, and I love it. But that part of it, I was like, that could be a little. It
does need to be darker.
Yeah,
I do agree with that. But yeah, this ride is so fantastic. The visuals, the animatronics, the jump scares.
I mean, the Wolfman part is one of the coolest ones. Oh, gosh. Where he swipes at you, and then like the Dracula animatronic and how huge that is. The Frankenstein one, like the way they use the animatronic with the screens is very, very well done. It's a great ride. And again, a lot of people have said Battle Ministry it blows this one out of the water, which that to me is wild. But having I've ridden this 3 times overall, and it's great. I love it.
Agreed. Yeah. It's hard to beat. Curse the Werewolf was down, so we didn't get to ride that one. So what are your overall thoughts on Dark Universe now that we've seen it twice and we've seen it tonight?
I think it's an interesting land, because you can tell the creatives fought for it. Because if you're thinking about a brand new theme park, including Universal Monsters, is not something that you would assume they would use. You're talking about like these characters are 100 years old. Like, they've been around forever.
Right.
So given that, it's the smallest land. So it's not
it feels like
it's not that big.
Right.
Now, when we were there, the Burning Blade Tavern windmill was not running. I'm guessing because it was raining.
Oh, it started working again, because I just missed it.
Oh, okay.
Yes. But it just wasn't working.
Because we got out of the ride, it had just got done raining.
Yeah.
So it had a very ominous feel. It definitely had a dark and spooky feel to it coming out, which I do love about that. But it's a little small, especially in the back, and it needs. I definitely think it could use an expansion in the future for sure. But in terms of walking in, the theming of it, like, it sets the tone really well. It's very well done, and especially Monsters Unchained is a great ride, but it does feel like it's lacking the extra things the other lands have, this one doesn't have.
It doesn't feel fully fleshed out.
It doesn't. But again, I think it was one of those things where I'm guessing this was fought for so much, and they're like, okay, we're not putting a huge budget toward this because this is unproven. But given how
the ride
and how popular I think this land has become, just by how the lighting effects in here and the pulsing energy and like the whole vibe of it. I do think it's something that a lot of people have responded very well to.
Yeah.
So I think it would be very well for it to have an expansion to make this a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
Because I don't think you could spend all day in here.
Absolutely not. Nope. I don't think you could. Because I mean, we haven't had Das Steakhouse yet, which we will try eventually. We haven't done Curse of the Werewolf either because it's been closed.
Right. Which you may not do because it spends a lot.
I probably won't. But we did meet Bride of Frankenstein and Frankenstein's Monsters already. Which is a great meet and greet.
Great meet and
greet. And then
Invisible Man's out.
Invisible Man. Yep. And some of the other characters were walking around too.
Igor walks around too.
Igor. Didn't see him at all.
Yeah.
But we did, went to the Burning Blade Tavern because I wanted to try a couple items. And one was the Monocane mocktail, which was basically like green apple syrup with like Sprite, basically, is what it tasted like. And it was pretty good, but it was served in a flask, like a
science beaker.
Like a science beaker thing with a straw, which is kind of fun. And it was like $12, I think. So it wasn't bad. And then a garlic steak.
Which was?
It was a piece of garlic bread. Basically, you could dip it in like sauce.
Yeah.
And it was shaped like a steak.
Yeah. Well, you made it sound like it was a steak.
I ate a steak. I ate a knife, Jared.
Yes. Well, I meant like a steak, like a meat steak.
Oh, it did sound like I said.
Yeah.
No, it was not.
It made it sound like you had garlic steak.
Oh man, that sounds good though. No, I did not have garlic steak. I had a garlic bread steak.
There you go.
Thank you.
I had some too. It was really good. I will say, one thing I've said Universal needs is more kind of, I guess you could just call them themed snacks that are more viral. Like people see them and it's like Instagram worthy, I guess. Disney's done a very good job with this over the years of having snacks that are for pictures and things. But I will say, I haven't tried a lot of the, sit down restaurants yet, but a lot of the snack options are very, I guess you would just call them Instagrammable. Yeah. And I think this one as well, but it was very good. So the snacks, I think they've done a really good job of these themed snacks and all these lands and everything of doing that. And the Burning Blade Tavern, although it could be bigger in there.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the stuff in this land is a little smaller than I think what a lot of people may anticipate, but it's still a very well themed land. And if you're into Universal Monsters, you'll love this land.
Yeah.
But it's just not as big and extra things to do in here as some of the other lands.
Right. Agreed. So we were going to eat at Pizza Moon, and our kids decided they didn't want that kind of pizza.
Well, our daughter loves Costco cheese pizza. That is her favorite pizza, probably her favorite food in the world.
This pizza was not.
Pizza Moon is more of kind of fancier type of pizza. And I was showing it to her, and she's like, no. Yeah. She's not a real adventurous eater, although it is really cool in there.
So we got our ice cream.
Yeah.
Frosty Moon ice cream.
We did go get her. I got her some ice cream. And it was $7 something with a cup. In each serving, you get 2 toppings.
Okay.
And then you can get a cone, and it's like $1 more for a cone. So she got vanilla with Oreos and sprinkles. And they have different types of sprinkles, but it's like the Celestial sprinkles. Mm-hmm. But it's more yogurt.
And this is in Celestial Park, by the way.
Yeah. It's not ice cream scooped. It's like yogurt, like soft serve yogurt. But it was pretty good. It was really good. Yeah. She enjoyed it. I finished it off because I knew she wouldn't finish it all. But
and while they were doing that, my son and I went to get in line for Constellation Carousel.
Because it was at dark.
It was a 55-minute wait for a carousel. But...
Well, the reason for this is because Celestial Park at night is gorgeous.
So pretty.
And Constellation Carousel is gorgeous at night.
You guys, it is so beautiful. Like the lighting, the like your own, like whatever, figure or animal you're on twinkles while you're on it. And it's almost like you're float dancing.
It is. It's almost floating. Yeah. It's almost like you're on a dance floor because it's not.
The music is really loud too.
Yeah, it's not a traditional carousel. It's almost like what you've seen on some of these where each has individual circles inside of it. So like you're going in circles by going in a bigger circle as well, but it's almost like a very flowy thing.
It's like the glass carousel in New York is what I've been told.
Okay.
So
it is at night with Celestial Park, with the fountain and the lighting. It's really cool. Now, I don't think in general, I would say I would wait an hour for this.
I only waited because of the kids.
The kids and the fact of it was almost park close and everything else was rather high wait times, and we hadn't done this yet. So we're like, okay, let's do that.
But that was really good. By the time we got on, it was 9:15. Got off like 9:25 ish. And then it was time to go. But we did not get to do Ministry of Magic. One, because we missed the show times for the Cirque show. And we did not get a virtual queue for Ministry of Magic. We're like, you know what? We're not even going to go in there because we were spent time of the other lands. This is more focused on our kids and stuff. So we're like, you know what? It's okay if we just don't do that land this time because, we just ran out of time. But you got some pictures, some really cool pictures of the portals.
Well, one of the things I wanted to do was see Celestial Park at night.
It's so pretty.
And this park is gorgeous at night.
So
and
pretty.
Celestial Park is, if it wasn't for the fact that we had to go and it was kind of sprinkling a little bit, I could have just sat near the fountain and just chilled and just watched it. It was really cool. But I got some pictures and video and walked around all the portals. And there was also filming going on all day by Universal at different spots. And they were doing some filming outside of Isle of Burke after close. They were doing some sort of special thing there. But I got some pictures there. I got to check out I guess I would just call Celestial Park at night is just the vibe itself. It's just like it's just different. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Got to see that. And it was a full busy day.
We got there before it opened and we left about 45 minutes after it closed. So it was a busy day.
And other than sitting down to eat, we really didn't take much of a break.
Nope.
All day long.
It's a lot of time in line though. And so I want to transition into talking about that. So from what we understood with this preview day, in just based on data from online and from Thrill Data specifically, because they do post how many tickets are being sold per either annual pass or per preview person, whoever that is. And it's always about 8,000 something. And so knowing that about 8,000 tickets were sold, 8,500 for the day we went, we're like, the wait times were so high for this day. And we know that 2 rides were closed. We understand that. But it made all the other lines so long, especially earlier in the day, that it seriously worries me.
Speak for yourself,
I'll
lady.
say it worries me. It worries me for when the park does open and the capacity is much higher. Maybe, I don't even know, 3 times higher than that. I don't know what they're going to do. Hopefully the rides are all operational then. I know it's the beginning of it, like the opening of the park, and nothing goes according to plan. So I know there'll be some kinks to work out. But if you're going to Epic Universe in the first, I'll say couple months, pack your patience and go expecting not to ride everything, because there will be breakdowns. There will be delays and there will be long waits unless you do like Express Pass. I don't know. Like I really am kind of afraid of what the wait times are going to be like, especially the first weekend.
Well, this is definitely, I will say it's definitely a concern of this park, because if in theory everything was running and say Battle of the Ministry was running and none of the rides had breakdowns, I would be curious to see what the wait times would look like, because if it was a normal standby for Battle of the Ministry, again, that can hold like 7 hours worth of wait time or queue time in there.
Yeah.
Some of these other rides may not be bad, but given that one and so few people are able to ride it, and we've seen this in other theme parks when rides go down multiple times, it causes increased wait times everywhere else. So everywhere else just gets busier.
Yeah.
It is a concern, undoubtedly, because we don't know what the capacity of the park is going to be. It's nowhere near even what it was for the preview dates here. So one or a few of rides going down here is going to cause cascading issues across the entire park. And, if it was me and someone was on the fence about should I come or should I wait, if it wasn't for us covering, theme parks and, just being there opening day just to kind of be their opening day, I would probably say I would wait until some of this stuff is worked out, till they get the issues with Battle of the Ministry worked out.
I agree.
And they will. Like, you look at Rise of the Resistance, that ride was really rough when it first opened at Disney World. They eventually figured that one out. They'll get this figured out. It's just, will they get it figured out before opening day?
I don't think they will.
If I'm a betting man, I'm not taking that bet that they're going to solve all the ills of this ride. Now, maybe they make some progress on the virtual line, or maybe some progress, but a new theme park is going to have issues. Previews are going to have issues. So it's to be expected, but it doesn't change the fact that if you're forking out $800 as a family to go, you do have a certain level of expectation when you're paying that, and which is one reason why I say I think they're overpricing the previews. Because knowing this is an issue, and this is not only if it is going to happen with these rides, you're essentially basically paying full price at a normal theme park to go here. So yeah, if it was me and you're looking to spend thousands of dollars to go on vacation, I would wait. I would maybe they get this stuff ironed out. Maybe toward the fall it's running really. Maybe it's by the summer it's running really smooth. I don't know. I don't know. They've been running this park essentially with people running through it for multiple months now. Yeah. So maybe they get this stuff ironed out by the middle of the summer, go toward the fall. Maybe the fourth quarter is better. But I would understand that. I would even say, if I was asking my opinion, that's what I would say about it. But it is an issue, and it is something that I am very curious what wait times are going to look like on opening day, just given, you have 11 attractions, which is more than many theme parks have opened with. Mm-hmm. But with the amount of people coming in and a lot of these attractions, presumably Battle of the Ministry is going to be a virtual line system. Like, there's a lot of unknowns, and waiting in line's not fun.
It is not fun. I mean, especially in the heat.
You can get Express Pass is sold out for opening period, but you can do that. But that is going to be very pricey to do. So
pack your patience.
Yeah, but it's a great theme park. My viewpoint of the park hasn't changed in terms of I love this park. It's fantastic. It's a very original. The way the portals are, Celestial Park is beautiful.
It sounds like we're complaining a lot about it, but
no, it's not. I don't think so.
It's good critiques, because it's like, well, we're just kind of telling you, like, this is how it is right now. It'll get better, but for right now, this is how it is.
I don't think we're complaining a lot, considering we talked about how much we loved all the other stuff. I think we're just being realistic about it. And
that's what I meant. Yeah.
There's literal things that, this park is going to have limitations. And currently, as it is, with 11 attractions, which, again, I will just say, that's more than Animal Kingdom. Animal Kingdom was built more than 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So it has a lot of things to do. It's just whatever that park capacity number is that Universal is going to have, and are these rides reliable enough in the opening period to service that? That is a question. There's a lot of extra things you can do in these lands and in this park. There's lots of food options. There's lots of things to do here outside of just rides and attractions.
Well, there's still 4 attractions that we've never done, or I've never done. Ministry, the show, Stardust Racers, and Curse of the Werewolf.
Yeah.
So even those, so we'll have more to talk about later, giving you a review on those things. But for now, and
I would say other critique, there at this point in this park, there's not a lot of shade in this park.
I know.
Now, once those trees grow up, give a couple of years, there will be more shade, especially in Celestial Park. So there's things, of course, that aren't perfect, and it's just how things are going to run. But the rides are going to go down, whether it's an opening period or a normal theme park operation. Like, sometimes rides go down, but I think if you are, like you say, if you are going the opening period, I would expect things to happen, and just try and enjoy whatever you're able to enjoy. Yeah. Some of the, go explore the lands a little bit. Again, like Isle of Berg, you could go explore in there for hours of just checking all this stuff. Super Nintendo World's the same thing. So I think it's a great foundation for this park, and they're going to expand off of it. And I do think this is going to become the, cornerstone of Universal Studios theme parks is Epic Universe. It's going to be their Magic Kingdom. And they're just going to add.
So?
I think that's the whole goal of it. I think it's going to become the central park that people think about when it comes to Universal Studios. And I think pretty soon, if I'm being quite honest, I think they expand Epic Universe fairly quickly in terms of expanding Super Nintendo World. Like, you've got a lot of expansion pads in this park. They're already being really aggressive. It would make a lot of sense to go ahead and do a lot of this too. If this park does have wait time issues in some of these rides, expand it as quickly as you can to help on that end of things. So I think it's a great starting point. I love the park still. Am I dying to go during this period after it opens? Like, all the time. Personally, like I'm gonna wait and like, you know, once after we go opening day of like, let's get some of these issues worked out and then go back and really explore some more. But
same. I feel the same.
Okay.
So